What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Project Ozone 2 Kappa Mode. Oh yeah, guys, so we're here in our agricraft area in the last millennium, and as you can tell, we have frames. Yeah, so I have all the farms turned off right now, so we can look around and do some stuff. Otherwise, with all these farms being auto-harvested, and the plants regrowing as fast as they are, and all the block updates, yeah, it just causes way too much frame rate issues. So I'm gonna try from now on just to make sure these things are off wherever here doing stuff. I'm currently working on more 10-10-10 seeds with our auto agricraft farming station. I guess no auto in the name. We're doing nickel, silver, iron, and tin seeds. These are seeds that we've made previously and we haven't 10-10-10 them, so I am currently in the process of bringing those up. I just got done doing electrum, copper, invar, and osmium. All of these seeds that are in here, I think, well, almost all of them, I think still need to be planted. So I have gone around and added a few more dirt patches here. I've added in more harvesters, more trash cans, more of these irrigation channels and the water tanks and the infinite water sources. I have not made all of the sprinklers for them just yet, but we do have a couple of spots here that are pretty much good to go. We got another one over there on the very end as well. So when we originally set this up, we had one harvester that was harvesting all of the crops, and we're kind of filtering out the things that could be turned into a 3x3 crafting grid and the ones that couldn't be, like the Fluex and the Certus quartz and the Nether quartz. I think we had those over here. So I've kind of decided what we're going to end up doing is just make plots that either don't have any crafting or plots that do have crafting. The ones that do have crafting, we're going to have our harvester auto eject directly into a compactor, which is going to take all those things and compact them down into like their small estates, so either ingots or the blocks depending. Yep, and then we pull directly out of the compactor and go over to our storage. The ones that are not having any type of a compacting happening, yeah, we are just pulling directly out of the bottom of these things with the conduit. Yep, and they're going over to our storage as well. So that's kind of, I think, the easier way of doing this without having to set up a whole bunch of filters and just using one compactor for multiple farms. Not only that, we start to run into the issue where we run out of space, because then we have to have the essence plus the ingot plus whatever else in there for multiple different things like wheat or whatever else. And yeah, you can see right here that this is almost half full, if not more than half full. Just with this one farm alone. If we add something in the center here, they'll clog it up even more, so it can't really support two farms, right? Anyway, so it's just easier to have one compactor and one harvester per farm, or just the harvester without the compactor on farms without anything needing to be compacted. So yeah, I've also gone down to the bottom. I finally finished out this bottom layer down here. This has kind of been bugging me that I kind of like did it halfway. We ran out of cobble and never did anything about it. So yeah, we got that filled in. So we gotta make more sprinklers, I think I talked about. And then I did add another platform this direction. This is gonna be our more permanent spot for the cows. So I've been kind of following the same type of a thing that we were doing over here, using the whatever this is, the cobblestone with dent block for the walkway. Yep. And then using the, I think that's a large tile, huge cobblestone tiles for like where the fences are on and stuff. And looking at this, it just looks really, really gray. It looked better over here because we have like the huge brown patches kind of breaking things up, right? But over here, it just kind of all looks gray. I think we're going to start getting it to the point where we're going to have to start swapping out our cobblestone for something that looks a little bit better. I was kind of thinking about what I wanted to do with that. And yeah, I think we might end up just doing the whole quartz, burnt quartz thing, so the white and black thing. I don't know. I'm not really good with picking colors and doing color palettes and all that kind of stuff. White and black looks a lot better than just gray everywhere. So we probably will end up doing something like that. I did something along those lines, I think, for the Infinity Evolved Expert, or not Expert, Skyblock playthrough I did on the live streams. So I think we might mimic that same kind of a setup. But anyway, these cows over here are in like a little 3x3 in the center. With a 5x5 fence surrounding them, and that seems to be working pretty well. It can support multiple cows, so that's what we're gonna do over here. So we can move our LPG cows over here. We can set up another one for like erothium. We're gonna need a lot of that stuff. If we need oil or whatever else cows make, cryothium, blazing pyrotheum, etc. Yeah, we'll have plenty of spots available for all that kind of stuff over here, and that's the idea. So this platform is just gonna go away. Yep. Another thing I'd like to do, we kind of have power generation in multiple spots all around. So we got like a generator here, we got generators over there making their own power. Same thing in the overworld. I would like to get to the point where we can consolidate all of our generation, all of our power. We got more generators right here. I'd like to get to the point where we can consolidate all of our power going into one main battery, and then we can export our power everywhere else using tesseracts. So I think that's another thing I'd like to start working towards. But before we do that, we really need to get like auto crafting hooked up, more storage, get these machines figured out. So I kind of think that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna start working on applied energistics. We need to get like the processors, get that automated. We need to get our machines, the ones that we need specifically for making processors to begin with, and everything else automated. Like we need glass. We're gonna need, I guess, sand turned into silicon. Yeah, so these machines are gonna get some use. This whole mess over here, it's like we're making machines, setting them down, and then just kind of forgetting about it. Yeah, this whole thing needs to be moved. So I think we're gonna start working on that. So I'm gonna start making some parts. All right, guys, well, one of the first steps that we need to do in order to really start progressing here, we need to get some acceleration cards going. Acceleration cards. So these things speed up things like our molecular assemblers that I just made. They speed up our advanced inscriber over here. We can put up to 5 of those in here, and this will make making processors super fast. It's definitely something we want. So to make these acceleration cards, we do need Fluix crystals, which we can make from our magical crops. So that's super easy. Then we're going to need some diamond wafers. We've seen how to make this before with our Galacticraft machine, whatever one of these over here. This one? Our circuit fabricator, yeah, we put in diamonds, and I don't remember, comparator or something. We get those diamond things out. The other thing we need to do is make the calculation processors, and then there's also mana infused ingots. So mana infused ingots come from mana infused ore. We had over a stack of that. You can pulverize it for 4. Pulverize it for 4 dust, which I did. Let's go wherever it is. It's somewhere in here. Oh, you know what? Did I do the wrong thing? Maybe I did the wrong thing. Anyway, you can pulverize it for 4, and it looked like that was the highest amount that you can get, and you can smelt down the 4 dust into ingots. So yeah, we did that, so that's pretty easy. Let's go back a little bit. Yeah, and then the calculation processors require the pulsating chipsets, printed calculation circuits, which is pure Certus, which we can make from our magical crops, and printed silicon. So the pulsating chipsets I have being crafted right now. We did a stack of pearls and a stack of redstone. These are currently cooking up over here. We got 18 more of them. Yeah, so each processor requires one of these. So we have to make a whole lot of these things, and it doesn't go extremely fast right now. We can make it faster. We need more lasers, which is gonna require more power. Yeah, power is kind of the thing that's our limiting factor right now. So we're just gonna let this go at the speed that it's going right now. And then once we get all this stuff crafted up, we will look at upgrading our power supply. So we need the calculation press in there and this thing to make a few of these calculation processors, and then we can make these advanced cards, which we can make the acceleration cards and make this process go a little bit faster. So that's definitely what I'm looking at doing here. We didn't have any more of the silicon, so let's just let this go a few more. Yeah, let's make, I guess 5 would be a good number. Let's make 5 of those. Oh, does it need that in there? I thought it kept one in its internal inventory. What's it doing right now? Did I break it? I'm not sure what's going on. Anyway, I guess we'll just pull those out. What is it doing? I broke it. So don't pull out these things when it's in the middle of doing a process, I guess. Anyway, I'm sure breaking and replacing that will fix it. If I put those in there, nope. Okay, so it doesn't like that. Let's break and replace. Oh, you know what this is? It has 0 power. That's what happened to it. Okay, so we have to break this anyway. We'll break this, we'll stick it over here next to this thing, which will get AE power from, and then I'll finish up. Okay. Yeah, that confused me. I thought that pulling the thing out at that time broke it, but no, it just ran out of power at the exact same time. I was like, okay, let's stop this process. Oh my goodness. Okay, so do we have any of the diamond wafers? We do. We have plenty of those. We have plenty of mana infused. We're also going to need the electrotine ingots, which I do not think we have at this point. Did require some of those per each of these, so let's just make as many as we can. 7 of those, that should get us by for right now. Yeah, we'll go and cook those up. Good. All right. How are we doing over here on the silicon? Okay, let's stop the silicon from processing any further. We'll put those here, those there, this up here. Each one of these, we can start making the acceleration cards, which is gonna make this whole thing go so much faster, make our life that much easier. Let's wait for one more to happen. All right, so we'll let the rest cook up without us looking at it. All right, so we need to make ourselves the advanced card. So let's do that. We'll put all of this stuff in the system so it has access to that. Okay, so there's 2, there's 2. Okay, and then we can do acceleration cards. Cool, there's 4 of those. Quest complete acceleration cards. I didn't know there was a quest for that. But now that we got those cards in there, this is going to go so much faster. It can even take 1 more. So let's just do the silicon for right now. That goes here, that goes there. So yeah, you can see that it's making these quite quickly now compared to what it was a little bit ago. I guess we should probably swap those out for one of these things and make some more of our calculation processor so we can make more acceleration. All right, cool. What we got going on over here? Make those, this, that. More acceleration. You can't have too many of those. And there you go. There's 10 more accelerations. Okay, so this one is now maxed. Now, each one of these molecular assemblers, these are crafters. These all require, I think, 4? Or is it 5? No, it's 5. 5 per one of those. So we have to make a whole lot of these acceleration cards to get our auto crafting going. So that's going to be my next task. I'm just going to keep working on these. It's not super crazy of a process. It's just a little bit of a time sink. So let me get to it and we'll be back. All right, guys, so we got our molecular assemblers placed down. We have some ME interfaces here. So we have the makings of some auto crafting ready to be happening, but we still got more things to do, right? I don't want to keep doing everything off camera without you guys. So yeah, the way this is set up, we have an ME dense cable here that is touching 4 of these interfaces. Those interfaces are touching the molecular assemblers and providing them power, right? Okay, so the way this will work is we'll eventually bring this dense cable up and then we'll alternate so that it'll be the interfaces over here. So they're touching more molecular assemblers, more sides of the interfaces touch those. And we just keep alternating it and stacking it up. And you can do up to 32 interfaces on one of these ME dense cables, right? So I've laid out spots here so we can do this in a few places should we choose to. I don't know if we're gonna do all of these or just a couple of them or how tall we're gonna go. I don't know how much auto crafting we're gonna need. But yeah, that's the basis of what we have here. I just went ahead and I made myself an ME pattern terminal so we can create patterns, put blank patterns in here and encode them, right? And then on this side, we have our interface terminal so we can see all the different things that are attached to our network and put patterns in there for auto crafting later on. So we still have to make patterns and we still have to make other things like crafting storage, and we have to make the crafting coprocessors. So let's take a look at some of these things that we need to do. Let me get on the right terminal here. All right, so we want pattern, or I guess crafting coprocessor, which is rather inexpensive. It's a diamond processor plus one of these crafting units. Crafting units do require calculation and the logic, iron, and then these glass cables. This isn't so bad. So to get us started, let's just make, I don't know, 8 of those. Okay, I guess that's all we can make. All right, so we'll do 8 of those. We will make, I guess, 4 of these crafting coprocessors. Like so, that'll allow us to craft more items at a time. I don't think these are necessary in order to do any auto crafting, but if you want to start crafting more than 1 item per crafting operation, yeah, you want those guys. And then we need crafting storage. So when you tell a Planet Logistics to do auto crafting, it takes the items out of your network, it'll store them in the crafting storage, and then from there it'll do its processing. So if you don't have storage, it doesn't have anywhere to put these items and you can't auto craft. Okay, so crafting storage. There's different tiers. You can do 1K all the way up to 64K. We'll probably do 1 or 4K. I'm not sure. Do we have any 4K? Do we have any 1K? We don't have any of these things in the system. Yeah, it's just the crafting unit plus one of these storage components, just like you're making your drives or whatever, your regular storage. So to make those, we need the storage modules. Looks like we have, well, okay, we can do 4 of those. I was gonna see if we can make a bunch of 4K of these, but I don't think we can. Maybe for right now, maybe we'll make it 4K. Let's do that. Let's do a 4K one, and we can do a 1K one. So we'll have a little bit more storage in one, a little less on the other one. So one of those and one of these. These things you can also take apart, right? So you can stick it right here, take it apart. You get your crafting unit and the storage component back. So if you make the lower tier, you can upgrade them later, just like you can with your discs. Cool. Okay, so now that we have these, we got to figure out where we're going to put them. I honestly don't know, but these are attached to the ME network, so we could put them over here for right now, just to get us going. I guess we're going to need a little bit of ME cable. Well, we don't need it, but I'm going to do ME glass cable anyway, right off of our dense cable. All right, so for right now, let's just do one of these things. We will put down, let's do the crafting storage on the bottom and this right here. So you can see that as I place them, they change into what looks like a multi-block and they light up. So we're ready to go right now. We can add in these coprocessors as well. You see they form a multi-block and then seconds later they should light up again, saying that they are ready to go. So you can make these, I think they have to be in a cube form. You can't just like start building off in weird directions. So either like a 1x1 or a 2x2, just as long as you keep the formation going. So these are online, those are ready to go. So we should be able to start some auto crafting here. So we want to make blank patterns. We have to make a blank pattern to start making patterns. So the very first pattern we should use for a blank pattern is, of course, making more blank patterns. So we will shift click that into here. We will set this. Now, there's a button right here where you can prevent substitution of input components, which means it's only going to look for pure Certus quartz crystal. It will never use any of the regular stuff. I don't want that to happen. We'll switch that back, and then we will re-encode that. So now it will either use a pure or the regular. We could click this out and tell it just to look for Certus quartz crystal. And I think it'll prefer this, and if it runs out of this, it'll use the pure. But either way, like both of these items are made from our magical crops, right? So if we look for the uses on this one, or I guess not the uses, I'm sorry, the recipe for this, we can take a regular Certus quartz, wrap it with more Certus quartz essence, and then we get 2 pure Certus. Otherwise, this stuff right here, the recipe for the regular Certus, we get from, well, actually it doesn't show here. What we'd have to do, let me see, the recipe for this, the uses for this. So this magical crop stuff turns into the Certus quartz ore, which we have to fortune to get the stuff back. But either way, it's a second step to turn that into the pure. So you kind of want to not use it, I guess, until you get some kind of a machine that'll auto fortune the stuff for you. But anyway, so we got that all done. Let me grab this guy and we will stick it right over here in our molecular assembler section. Okay. So now we do that, we can do blank pattern in the terminal, and we can tell it to auto craft. We want 10 of those, we can make 10 of them. Let's go and craft those up. Nice. So now we got more blank patterns to make more things. So probably what we want to do is start going through and auto crafting all the applied energistics things like acceleration cards, the blank cards, all those kinds of things, ME glass cable, the fiber that goes into that. All sorts of those kinds of things. So I'm going to start making some more patterns. I guess we can make another one together. Let's do ME glass cable. So to make one of those, let's go over to our pattern terminal. To make one of these, we need to make sure we have quartz fiber, so we can do that. And I will allow substitution, so we can do either nether quartz dust or any type of random glass. It doesn't have to be quite clear glass. It'll use vanilla glass. But either way, we'll do that so we can make these. And then we can take that and make another pattern. Well, I guess we need the quartz fiber. So yeah, we can take this, click and drag it out of NEI. These items don't exist, so if I can like click them, drag down here, that's just ghost items. But you can use them to place right like that to fill out your pattern. So we can do this. There we go. So now we can auto craft more ME glass cable, which is awesome. Cool. So let me get to it. I'm going to make some more patterns, get some more things going on our auto craft, and we'll be back. All right, guys. Well, I've been busy since the last clip. Yeah, I decided that we're going to put the auto crafting molecular assemblers and our interfaces on the 4 corners of the center section. So yeah, we got these all hooked up right now. These will end up being, I think, 7 tall towers. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have our CPUs, our crafting storage, and the coprocessors and things like that in a 3x3 structure here going upwards on each one of these little holes. So each corner will have 4 of its own processors, or I guess there'll be 4 in each corner. They can be used, each of those can be used by any of the auto crafting stuff, but yeah, we definitely want to make sure we have a lot of CPUs. So later on, when we get a lot of auto crafting going on, yeah, we're not going to be stuck not having enough CPUs. Another thing I did, let's go down here. Yeah, I kind of mocked out where a 7x7x7 ME processor, I guess, controller multi-block structure is going to be. Yeah, so we got this whole thing lined out here. So that's going to end up being all processors eventually. Yeah, we only have 2 right now, which you can see are hooked up right there in the center. You can see where our storage and the floor used to be. Yeah, so we got enough room here so we can get this thing hooked up, and then I made the floor down low enough so I can attach things and click on things as we need to do that on this bottom face. And yeah, we can also do the such things at the top face as well. So yeah, I kind of like the way this has turned out. So all of this down here is going to change. Our processors, or I guess our crafting stuff, is down here, and that's gonna be moved up top eventually as well. I just have not done that yet. Yeah, because each one of these uses 4 channels right now on each one, and then that's all connected through this one line, which is connected to one face anyway, so that's already using 8 channels, so I can't move them up there at this time, but we will eventually when we start getting into P2Ps and making more of the dense cables and whatnot. Okay, so we got that done. I made 4 more of these advanced inscribers here. So we have 1 inscriber press in each one of these different ones. Yeah, so diamond, then we got the logic, or I'm sorry, the calculation, then the logic, then the silicon, and then the bottom we can put all the different pieces together. We'll hook those up so they're automated at some point, but for right now, I definitely wanted to have 1 for each of them so I don't have to keep swapping out these plates for each different part. And they all have the acceleration cards in there as well, which is super, super nice. Okay, so we got that done. Let's see, what else did we want to do here? Aha, I forgot what I was doing, now I remembered. So yes, I also made a matter condenser. This is an item that we can put in a bunch of different items and condense it down into singularities. We're gonna need the singularities for the ME quantum ring in the link chamber. So what we're going to be doing is moving applied energistics across dimensions so we can hook it up to our agricraft area. Then we'll be able to access, well, I guess not just agricraft, but I guess both our agricraft and our move fluid area, so we can access ME from there. And I think that's going to definitely be something we want to do. So this matter condenser, if we set it down, we can take a look at it. This thing requires a cell of some kind. I think you need a 64K one in here to make the singularity, so we need to make one of those. So I have been making a bunch of patterns over here. Scroll down a little bit. So yeah, we have patterns to make interfaces, patterns to make molecular assemblers. We have patterns to make all the way up to 64K storage components. There is higher storage components in this pack. We do have extra cells. Extra cells. Is that going to update over here? Did I screw that up somehow? Okay, so I guess you have to put a space in there. Anyway, there are higher tier of these things. So you can go 256, 1024, 496, and eventually the top tier is a 16384K ME storage. We're not going to worry about these just yet. But anyway, we need to make ourselves a 64K, so let's do that. 64K. If we tell it to craft this, I think we had everything ready to go. It looks like we're ready to go. So yeah, we're going to be making 27 storage things. It's going to be crafting up chests out of planks, all this stuff. It only uses 216 pieces of wood to craft into 1 plank each. We don't have the precision sawmill, the regular sawmill, hooked up at this time. Anyway, let's go ahead and start this up. It's going to take a minute to go through all this crafting to make a 64K. Yeah, it has to make 3 of the 16 and then whatever, like 27 of the previous tiers and all of this kind of stuff. So yeah, it takes a little bit of time for all this to happen, but doing this by hand would really suck. So having it being able to be auto crafted definitely is really nice. So there we go. There's our first 64K. 64K. Nice. Okay, so we got this. So this guy, like I said, fits into this slot right here. We're gonna wanna set this thing to condense into singularities. And then we need to start pumping items into this thing. So the fastest way I know of to pump items into this is by using that cobblestone framework thing. Yeah, this. I don't know if we're gonna have enough power to do this, but let's see what happens. And I don't know if I have to use a way to pipe items out. Let's just set this right here. So yeah, that creates cobblestone. Does this auto eject? Can I push? Oh, I can push. Okay, so let's do that. We'll stick this guy right on top. This does not require power. We want it to do that, and then we have to put this guy here. Otherwise, nothing happens. Okay, so that's pushing rather slowly. I think we can do this faster. Okay, so let's stop this. Take this out, stop this. Okay, so that should stop making its hissing sound. I think we can use translocators. Do we not have any translocators available? Let's make a new item translocator. Okay, so that requires the redstone comparator chipsets. We need a redstone comparator, which I don't think we have, but we can make one. And then what else was it to make this thing? It was a piece of redstone. I should probably make up a few of these. I really do like translocators in this mod pack for various different things. Okay, so yeah, we've already made one of those before, so this thing was already selected and highlighted and ready to go. Yeah, so we just gotta wait for that to craft up. Anything else we gotta worry about in here? I don't remember what else we needed. If we were missing anything else over here, let's take a look. We're missing... Oh, the piston? Okay, so we can do that piston. We have those in AUTOCRAFT as well. Nice. Okay, so we got that ready to go. I just gotta wait for this guy to finish up over here. Just another second. Cool. All right, so now we can make a translocator. All right, so we want one of those, or I guess a pair of translocators. So then we're gonna need glowstone to make sure we're pulling out a stack at a time. Otherwise, you pull out one item per tick. And while it is quick, it's not as fast as it should be. So we'll stick this guy right here, and then we will do this into this, and then a piece of glowstone on the sending side. Let's set this thing up properly, so this will be into singularities with one of these things. And I think we just press the button. Okay, so that's going much faster. So we need to wait until we get 256 items in there. 256,000 items in there, and then we can get ourselves a singularity. Once we have the singularity, we can proceed. So let's wait for this to happen, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, well, it didn't take too much longer, and there we go. There's our singularity, so we can take that out. Yeah, we just went a little bit overboard. For whatever reason, this thing is causing, I don't know if it's the translocators or this thing down here, but either way, sending those items was really dropping the frame rate. So yeah, I have that turned off right now. That'll probably be another thing we set up in another dimension later on, should we need many more singularities. Okay, so now that we have this, we're supposed to drop this down with, oh my goodness, there's like so many things to do. Let me see, let's go to the uses on this. Does it say? Okay, so we're gonna need a bunch of these anyway for making whatever these are, the infinity catalyst way in the future. Yeah, these also require the 4096 gas and the 16384K ME storage component. There's a lot of things that are gonna be required later on. Anyway, so maybe we should look at singularity. This thing, does this say quantum entangled singularity? It says to create, drop one singularity and one ender dust and cause an explosion within range of the item. So we need ender dust. I know there's a couple of different types. There's like ender pearl dust, and then there is a different kind. This is from Portal, and then I think if you take an ender pearl and you sag mill it or you pulverize it, yeah, you get the ender IO version. I'm not sure which kind we need, because one's ender pearl powder and one's ender pearl dust. What did this say? Ender dust. So is it the portal gun or the ender IO? I don't know. Do we have a creeper statue? I think we might have gotten one over here. Otherwise, we're gonna have to use TNT. I'd rather use a creeper statue because it does cause an explosion. It will work for this, but it's not like damaging. Yes, we do have a bunch of statues over here. Let's grab one of these creeper trophies. Awesome. Okay, so these things also work for making the Awakened Draconium a little bit later. But yeah, what's great about these is you can set them down, use them anywhere you want. They don't harm the surrounding stuff. So let's try, I guess we'll try the Ender Pearl Powder, the thing we just did, and we'll put that down. Right click this guy. That worked. Okay, so I don't know if the other one works, the Ender Pearl Dust. I guess next time we can try that. Cool. All right, so now we have our Singularity. Put that away for now, put those away, and that away. So this is all we need to do. So now we got to hook the ring up down here somewhere. So it's just a multi-block structure, and I don't know where we're gonna put these. That's something else I'm gonna have to figure out. Maybe we'll stick it over on this side because we don't have cables running over here. It'll just be easier for a temporary solution. So we just make a little 3x3 hollow in the center with a quantum link chamber right there. And then we put 1/2 of our quantum entangled singularities in here. Another thing we can do is we can rename these things. So if we get ourselves an anvil, let me through here. Get ourselves an anvil. Yeah, here we go. Set it down. We'll call this Last Millennium. How about Last M, just for shortness? Okay, yeah, there we go. So there's our Last Millennium quantum entangled singularity. That way you know when you get more of these rings, if you get more of these rings, which one goes where, because there's no other real way to tell, right? So these are both named the same thing, so we'll know where these go. So then we need to get ourselves a ME-dense cable. Yes, I need to get back up here. Getting myself some kind of a wireless terminal will be really good. There's also the wireless crafting terminal in this pack, but it's expensive, so that's why we haven't done it yet. So we need, I guess, just some of this dense cable. I think that'll be enough for what we're doing right now. So I'll just take it right off here, run this over. Like so. Okay, so this thing now lights up, and since we're putting 32 channels from this dense cable in here, we can do a dense cable out of this thing on the other side and get 32 channels out that side. So that's gonna be really nice. So let me get this hooked up in the Last Millennium, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, so here we are in the Last Millennium, and I built a little platform underneath so we can put our applied energistics kind of in the center of where we're running all of our different stuff right now. So yeah, I have run an ME cable all the way over to where our storage is, but we don't have things connected, so let's do that together. So off of this thing, we're gonna put an ME dense cable, so we have access to all 32 channels that are gonna be coming out of this side, right? Okay, so we have that. We just have that connected to a regular cable, which is running over here. This thing is not connected. It needs power. Once we give it power, it should be good. Yeah, it should be good unless something updates the network and disconnects this thing, and then we have to re-up it. There's ways to get it to auto-connect again, and we'll look at that sometime in the future. We just don't have time today. So we can put this capacitor bank here, which I filled up back at the base, which is providing this thing power, which is providing the ring power. And now we can turn this thing off. Redstone output mode. We want it active with signal. I'm going to put a lever on there just to shut this thing off so we're not wasting the power in this thing since we don't have a way to recharge it. Active with signal, active with signal. One of these ways is going to turn that off, isn't it? How do we get this thing active with... Oh, you know what? Okay. There we go. I think I just derped that. Anyway, so now we're no longer sending power through this capacitor bank. This thing is still on because it's getting power from the main network now. So now we can come over here to the end of this cable and we can get that hooked up to our storage drawers, which we're going to move eventually. But for right now, let's just get this connected. So I made myself a controller slave so that we have another spot where we can input something onto our storage here. Yeah, I think that should work. We'll put an ME storage bus right here, and then we will connect that to our ME glass cable. Do like that. That should be it. So after a little bit of time, this thing should say its device online. It takes, 15, 20 seconds, something like that. But I think we should be good to go. So now the only thing we have to do is go back to the main base, look at our system over here, and just make sure that we can now see all of the different resources that we have in the Last Millennium. I expect, yes, we have pulsating iron blocks, we have terra steel, we have energetic alloy, all the different things that our magical crops are producing, we have now available without having to go there, which is super awesome. Guys, we're going to go and wrap the episode up here for today. There's so much more that I wanted to do, but we are just out of time. thank you so much for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to leave a like on it. But that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.